Good afternoon, class. I hope you all are fine at your home. Now, let us start our part 3 regarding the computer software. That is our chapter number 1 in the following UT. Now, let us first revise what we have earlier learned. We have discussed what are the topic that we are going to cover under this particular chapter. After that, we have learned about the software as what? It's also called program, consist of a series of related instructions organized for a common purpose that tells the computer what tasks are to be performed and how to be performed. Then we have learned the different forms in which the softwares are available. What are the examples in which the different forms of softwares are available? Likewise, package software, custom, web application, mobile software, open source, shareware, freeware, and public domain software. I hope you have well understood that particular topic. After that, we have learned about different categories of the software that are available to us. First of them is system software. About system software, we have learned it is designed to operate the computer hardware, designed to maintain a platform for running the application software. After that, we have learned the system software has three different categories. As first of them is operating system, second one is device driver, and third one is utility program. After that, we have discussed about operating system. Actually, what a operating system is, let us recall. Operating system or OS is a software that enable a computer system to work, or operating system also resides in the hard drive of the computer. We have learned about the functions of the operating system. Operating system lets you give command to the system. Operating system acts as an interface between user and the computer. Then we have learned about the classification of operating system, as in two different ways system can be classified. In two different ways operating system can be classified. First one is command line interface, in which you have to type commands to give the system instruction, and second is GUI, that is graphical user interface, in which with the help of icons and mouse you could graphically instruct the computer to perform a particular task. Now let us further proceed with our next part in this category, that is we are going to learn about the different categories of operating system that are available to us. Now, one of the category is standalone operating system. What is a standalone operating system? A standalone operating system is an operating system that work on the devices such as notebook, desktop, or laptop. Why it is called a standalone? Basically, standalone word is a bit outdated because nowadays every operating system is a standalone. Previously, what used to happen, there was MS-DOS, that is Microsoft Disk Operating System, that was running in the background of the system OS. Okay, so in the previous times when Microsoft DOS would be running at the background of the Microsoft window, and it could not be considered as alone. It required Microsoft DOS to be running behind it, so it could not be said as a standalone system. But nowadays there is no requirement to be MS-DOS to be running in the background of the Microsoft Windows. Now I have listed some of the examples of the Windows also. Likewise, DOS, Windows 95, Mac OS, that is being released by Apple Inc., and Windows 2000 Professional are some standalone operating system examples. Okay, now let us move further and study about the types of operating systems that are available to us. Now, first of them is Microsoft Windows. It's a very popular operating system which is widely used nowadays. Okay, on the 90% of the system around the world, Microsoft Windows is installed over them. In mid 1980, the first version of the Microsoft Windows was launched, which provided a graphical user interface, or you could say graphical operating system, that was developed and published by Microsoft. It provides a way to store files, run software, play games, watch videos, and connect to the internet. Microsoft first introduced its version Microsoft first introduced with the version 1.0 on November 10, 1983. I have also mentioned the date when was the first version of Microsoft Windows were introduced. Over a dozen of Windows were released after that, as you all know, including the current version, that is of Windows 10. Basically, now I have also provided you the examples. First one is Windows 3.1, then 95, then 98, then Windows 2000, Windows Vista, Windows 7, with Windows 8, and Windows 10. Currently, they have Windows 10.1 is some they are somewhere at 10.1. Now moving further in types of operating system, second type of operating system is Mac OS. Mac OS is an operating system designed for Apple Macintosh computer. You can install it over your system also, but it is not going to support some of the feature, as it is being especially made for the Macintosh computer, which are developed and manufactured by Apple Inc. Apple Inc. Apple Inc. is a company which created Apple One and more modern products, including the iPod, iPhone, iPad. I think with this iPod, iPhone, you would be able to remember which company are we talking about. Yes, they have an operating system. Macintosh was released in 1984, a year after when the Windows was released. And the example of and the example of Mac OS are Mac OS, Mac OS X, and Mac OS Classic. These are some of the examples of Mac OS. Now moving further, in the types of operating system, we have Linux. The Linux is an open source operating system, or Linux OS we could say is a freely distributable cross platform, मतलब मल्टीपल प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे चल जाता है, मतलब मल्टीपल प्लेटफॉर्म कई जगहों पे चल जाता है, लैपटॉप पे भी चल जाता है, सेल फोन्स पे भी चल जाता है, सर्वर्स पे भी चल जाता है. दैट इज़ वाई इट्स अ क्रॉस प्लेटफॉर्म ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. विंडोज़ आपका मैकिनटॉश पे चलना बहुत प्रॉब्लमेटिक करता है, और मैकिनटॉश भी आपका विंडोज़ के हार्डवेयर पे चलने में प्रॉब्लम करता है. Cross platform of But this is a cross platform operating system based on the Unix that can be installed on the PCs, laptop, netbooks, mobiles, tablet devices, video game console, server, and supercomputer, and more. It could be installed on any type of hardware or any type of system. Some of the example of it are Ubuntu, Linux, Mint, Arch Linux. Okay, now another type of operating system is Chrome OS. What is Chrome OS? It's a Linux kernel based operating system. Kernel, it's a new word for you. Basically, kernel refers to much like operating system, but it's not actually an operating system. It's the central component, or you could say heart of an operating system. इंटरफेस, ये एक इंटरफेस होता है बिटवीन हार्डवेयर कंपोनेंट एंड एप्लीकेशन. जो हार्डवेयर लगा होता है ना, जैसे हमारे सिस्टम में एक माउस लगा हुआ है, तो उसको क्या वर्क करना है, तो ये क्या होता है, ये कैंडल डिफाइन करता है हार्डवेयर से रिलेट आउट करके. हमारे में स्पीकर हैं लगे हुए, ठीक है, एक हमारे में एप्लीकेशन है विंडोज़ मीडिया प्लेयर, तो वो कौन सा डिवाइस यूज़ करेगी, हार्डवेयर यूज़ करेगी, वो किस तरीके से यूज़ करेगी, तो ये कैंडल डिसाइड करता है. ये हर एक ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम में प्रेजेंट रहता है. It is derived from the free software Chromium OS and uses the Google Chrome web browser as its principal user interface. Many of you have used the Google web browser for surfing the web. Basically, nowadays what you are doing, you are using the Google classes. One of the app of Google Chrome browser is Google Classes. A specialized laptop that runs the Chrome OS is known as Chromebook, and a specialized desktop that runs the Chrome OS is called a Chromebox. Yes, you heard it right. Chrome OS only runs on a special kind of laptop that is delivered by the Chrome itself or Google itself, because Chrome OS is of Google. It's developed by Google, and the desktop version it run on Chromebox. Now further moving to the another type of operating system, we have server operating systems. Now let us know what are server operating system. A server operating system is an operating system which is designed specifically to support a network. A server operating system typically resides in the server. A client computer on a network rely on the servers for resources. Basically what happens, a client is a person who is dependent on the server for the space we are using Google Drive, and Google is establishing its server, it has established a server somewhere around the world, and we are using its server on the client server based architecture. What we are doing, हम लोग यहाँ से retrieve करते हैं data from the Google Drive. They have provided us a space of 15 GB, they have provided us the space of 15 GB on their system. That is a client server operating system, and for the managing these kind of system we require server operating system. Basically it has a different architecture compared to the standalone operating systems. Now, what are the examples of server operating system? Example are server 2008, Windows Server 2012, Debian, CentOS OS, Ubuntu, Linux, and many more. Again, Windows is here. Yes, Windows is a very popular server operating system for many of the companies. It depend on the platform, or you could say it depend on the application which they are using on their server. You used to choose a type of server or the company of the server. Okay, let us proceed further. What are the types of operating systems? Server operating systems. Now the first server operating system is Windows Server, developed by Microsoft. As name says, Windows Server enable the organization to manage application on the website and or on the cloud. ये आपको दो, it gives you two types of services. On the side you could manage the application, or on the cloud. Cloud, what is cloud? Cloud is a space that is being provided, a space or a domain or an area which is provided by an organization to you at some cost. Next is OS X server, developed by Apple. OS X server enable the organization to collaborate. They could collaborate उस server के through, they could be on the same server and exchange file. They can host website. मतलब for hosting website you need a server, so that as servers are connected to the internet all the time. Host server, mail server, there are different kind of server. OS X provide these kind of facilities and do much more on the Mac computer and iOS device. Okay, next is Unix, capable of handling high volume of transaction in a multi-user environment and working with the multiple process. Unix is often on the web servers. Basically जो web servers होते हैं जो हम लोग आजकल use कर रहे हैं वो Unix पे based होते हैं, because they could give high volume, they could handle high volume of transaction. मतलब high value of people could visit that particular page at a single moment, and it doesn't let the system get crashed. That is why Unix are basically used on the web servers. Next, Linux is often used on the web server and on the supercomputer because it provides a secure, stable, and a multi-user environment. You have also heard about the Bharat operating system solution. In short, it is known as BOS. It is also a simple version of the Linux developed by CDAC as an Indian organization based in Noida. The full form of CDAC is Center for Development of Advanced Computing India. It's a government of India organization, and it has developed a system named as BOS. One more term you have heard with the Linux is being, where the Linux is being used, is supercomputer. Basically supercomputer are those computer which have high level performance compared to the general purpose computer. Okay, basically these kind of computer are used in oil and gas exploration or converting the seismic data of maps that indicate where the oil drill or gas wells are there. You would also be thinking, does India have a supercomputer? Yes, India has a supercomputer named as Param 8000, which was developed by Center for Development and Advanced Computing, that is CDAC, that is headed by Dr. Vijay. I hope with this particular lecture you are able to differentiate between the server operating system and its standalone operating system, and you would also be able to know about the Microsoft Windows, Macintosh, Linux, Chrome OS, and server operating system may you could be able to know about the Windows Server, OS X, Unix, and Linux. Tomorrow we are going to discuss more about them, likewise mobile operating system and device driver and utility program. Thank you. And one more thing I want to say, as I used to give you assignment on Saturday only. So please do your assignment timely and submit it to me on the due date. I'm not receiving your assignments on due date, and those are very important for the evaluation, your marks regarding to your notebooks, and regarding to your regarding to your project would be depend on those assignment which you are not doing right now. Thank you.